Okay, so this happened during one of my harder college classes when the teacher gave us an exam. We flipped to the back where the cheat sheet should be for us, the formula sheet, and we realized that it was actually the answer sheet for the exam. Our professor got a phone call and had to step out for a few minutes, and so everyone in the class looked around each other and was pretty adamant on this is the answer sheet and he just made a mistake, but we all just gonna keep our lips shut and just get the exam done because it was a hard class. I went through every answer and got the same answer as the answer sheet, so everything was pretty legit, except for the last question where we had to draw a flow diagram, and on the answer sheet it said answers may vary. So I did to the best of my ability the flow diagram, and as I'm turning in my exam, I wanted to see what everyone else put. And these people put, for the last question, answers may vary. So if we weren't going to get caught before, we definitely were going to get caught now.
So my sister comes over and she's like, "You're always crying. Why are you always crying? You're such a baby." And then she sees my hand and she's like, "Let me see your hand." And then you just see like, I didn't look at it because I was too scared, but she's like, "I legit saw your bones and your flesh. Like it was nasty." And she's like, "We have to go to the hospital right now, Mom. She needs stitches. She needs stitches right now." So when I hear that, I start crying. I'm like, "Please, no, I don't want to go to the hospital. I don't want to get stitches. It's gonna hurt." So I ended up going to the hospital and getting 10 stitches, and this is how my hand looks now. Needless to say, my dad went home, got every single bangle I owned, put it in a box, and threw it all away. Alright, so at this point, everyone knows I used to work at a bank, so here's another story time. Most banks don't have public restrooms, and I think this is the reason why. One day I was working, and this elderly woman came up to me and she asked to use our restroom. So it's up to our discretion if you want to let customers use it. I only let older people and children use it because, they can't hold it in. And so I let this woman in the back, and I go back to my station. And so how it works is that if you let them use it, you're in charge of making sure that they leave the back of the room. So I'm working and it's busy and it's like 10 to 15 minutes and I'm getting kind of worried because I don't see her leave. And then as I'm working, I see her like run on the side of my eye. Like not run, but like limp away. So I'm like, okay, she's gone. Like nothing to worry about. So we're closing the branch and I hear my manager scream profanities. So I run to the back to where the bathrooms are and the smell just hits you. Gosh, I remember this day like yesterday. So I opened the bathroom door and this old woman shat all over our walls. Not like one dookie on the floor. Like she shat on the walls, on the floor, everywhere besides the toilet. I don't know if I should have felt bad for her or for us. So this couple comes in together to buy an engagement ring and they had a budget of about $20,000, which is a lot for an engagement ring. But the ring that she happened to pick out was about $35,000, which is a lot of money. And she was really adamant about picking it and he was kind of reserved, like, it is a lot of money. But she's like, no, if you love me, you'll buy it, yada, yada, yada. And he's like, you know what? You're gonna be my wife, the mother of my kids, whatever makes you happy. So after they finally decide, I pack it up for them. I'm like, here you go. Have a great marriage. Have a great life. Goodbye. About 3 weeks later, the fiance comes in and I'm thinking she just wants to get the ring size or something. And she's like, can you guys take out the diamond and replace it with a cubic zirconium? Cubic zirconium is a very cheap substitute for a diamond. So I was like, yeah, we can do that, but just give us 2 or 3 days. So she leaves and I call her fiance because I was like, oh, this is really suspicious. And he had no idea that she came into the shop or that she was coming in. So he calls me 2 days later and he finds out that she was going to break up with him. She would have kept that diamond and she would have given him the fake one. He would have returned it and he would have gotten no money back. Talk about mess. I'd be happy enough was next. I'm sorry, ma'am, is there a problem? Well, of course there's a problem. I thought I was in Bank of America. That is correct. You are at Bank of America. No, I'm not. Do you know why? Because the Bank of America that I go to always has a Christmas tree up. And as you can see, you guys don't have one up. Oh, well, there's budget cuts and things like that. We're in a recession, so we had to cut down on some certain things, and the Christmas tree was just one of those things. Really? That's what makes you guys America. Bank of America. You're not Bank of Canada. You're called Bank of America. So you guys need to put up your Christmas tree. I'm so sorry you're really riled up about this. I'll definitely let my manager know. You do that because I'm going to let corporate know what happened today. And you call yourself Bank of America. America! Growing up as the youngest of 6 siblings, I knew at a really young age I would have to put myself through college. So by the time I was 19, I saved enough money to put me through college with the help of scholarships and have plenty left over. Well, my eldest sister got married a month ago, and my parents took out a second mortgage, $30,000 to help pay for her wedding. My dad lost his job right after, and I knew that they were struggling financially. So when my mom texted me a few weeks ago saying, call me as soon as you can, I knew what she was asking for.
I didn't have a problem lending them a few thousand and help them pay their bills, and I'd also give them a few of my tutoring gigs to help make some extra cash. But what I didn't expect was my parents' demand that I gave them the near $40,000 I saved to put myself through college. When I disagreed, my mom said, "You made that money under our roof. We were the ones who allowed you to work, so you have it because of us anyway. We bought you food and clothes for 18 years. I said that's a bare minimum when you sign up to become parents. And she hung up on me saying I wouldn't have the life I have today if it wasn't for them. I feel awful for refusing to help them out, but on the other hand, this was their fault. When my parents decided to get a divorce, I chose to stay with my dad. He was more financially stable, and he also promised to take care of me in the future and help me go through college as long as I graduated. When my grandmother from my mother's side passed away, I received a $30,000 inheritance, and recently my grandfather from my father's side passed away and left me with $50,000 as well. I was also working part-time jobs, and with all of that, I was able to save enough to comfortably put me through my 4 years of school. One day, my mom surprised my stepsister and bought her a brand new car. I was kind of shocked because it was way out of their budget because I knew they were struggling financially. When I looked at my bank account, I saw that a majority of my money was missing. I have my mom on all of my accounts because she wanted to monitor to make sure I don't spend too much money. I never would have thought she would have taken this and paid for my stepsister's car. Her reasoning was that my stepsister had a brighter future and had a bigger possibility of going to an Ivy League school and providing for us in the future. Well, I, a student who gets mostly B's and C's, would just take over the family business, so I didn't really need it, and I could always work in the future.